Celine crossed intergalactic darkness chasing one impossible green signal. No star system existed within millions of light-years nearby. Yet her telescope detected chlorophyll-like signatures ahead in darkness. A structure slowly appeared, wider than a small moon. It resembled a closed flower drifting between distant galaxies. No engines burned anywhere across its enormous folded petals. Still, warm air leaked from several narrow biological seams. Celine docked beside a surface grown from pale bark. The outer petal opened only after sensing her heartbeat. Inside waited the strangest garden humanity had ever found. Blue forests stretched beneath artificial skies filled with mist. Winged creatures drank from lakes glowing soft orange nightly. Nearby deserts supported walking plants with glassy root feet below. Every valley seemed copied from a completely different planet. Celine's scanner identified thousands of incompatible atmospheric chemistries there. Invisible barriers separated habitats without walls or mechanical doors. A tall figure approached through vines moving around him. 4 golden eyes blinked beneath smooth dark blue skin calmly. He called himself Oren, caretaker of the last garden. Then every artificial sun inside suddenly dimmed at once. Oren explained the garden predated his entire species' history. His ancestors inherited it from caretakers already long vanished. Each habitat preserved life from worlds facing extinction elsewhere. Some planets died naturally, others vanished during ancient war. The garden never judged why a species needed refuge. It only maintained enough life for possible future restoration. For countless generations, Oran communities served that single purpose. But energy reserves had fallen below safe biological levels. Without intervention, habitats would begin collapsing within several days. The nearest star was impossibly far from their position. Celine inspected the garden's enormous outer petal structures carefully. Their membranes contained cells designed to harvest cosmic radiation. Normally, intergalactic particles supplied slow but continuous energy there. Recent magnetic shifts had reduced that incoming flow drastically. Oran caretakers compensated by closing habitats one after another. They refused choosing which surviving ecosystems deserved more power. Celine searched old maintenance records for forgotten alternatives instead. Buried diagrams showed the garden once traveled between galaxies. Its petals were not only collectors, they were sails. The entire refuge had somehow stopped migrating centuries earlier. An ancient navigation chamber waited beneath the central garden. Oran legends forbade entering because its keeper never returned. Celine descended with a caretaker named Ilion beside her. Roots wrapped the staircase like veins around ancient bones. At the bottom stood a dormant sphere of black wood. Touching it filled the chamber with a forgotten star map. Thousands of green paths connected galaxies across cosmic voids. One route ended at their exact powerless current position. The garden had stopped because its destination disappeared completely. The galaxy ahead had merged into another long ago. Its navigation organism still waited for a vanished gravitational beacon. Without that signal, the sails would never open automatically. Celine proposed selecting a new galaxy manually from maps. Ilion feared changing a course chosen by ancient founders. Meanwhile, alarms showed several fragile habitats losing temperature quickly. One contained translucent amphibians found nowhere else in existence. Another protected flying seeds from a destroyed ocean planet. Doing nothing was already a choice with consequences. Ilion finally authorized Celine to wake the navigation organism. The black sphere opened 4 luminous green eyes. The organism remembered every caretaker who touched it before. Images flooded the chamber, showing civilizations across deep time. Celine saw founders collecting seeds beneath collapsing red suns. Other scenes showed refugees releasing animals into restored worlds. The garden was never intended as a permanent museum. It was built to return life whenever worlds recovered. The vanished destination once awaited thousands of stored species. Now another suitable galaxy could continue that original mission. Celine selected a young spiral galaxy relatively nearby ahead. The navigator accepted after examining her biological stress signals. Opening the sails required waking every outer petal simultaneously. Oren teams spread through maintenance groves across the station. Celine coordinated power using her ship's compact fusion reserve. Artificial suns dimmed further as energy moved toward hinges. One by one, colossal petals unfolded into intergalactic darkness. Their pale membranes caught invisible streams of charged particles. The garden slowly rotated toward the distant spiral galaxy. For the first time in centuries, its shadow changed direction. Habitats trembled as gentle acceleration passed through internal valleys. Then the power levels stopped falling and stabilized. Cosmic particles flowed across sails wider than continental regions. Energy returned slowly into every threatened habitat around them. Artificial suns brightened above blue forests and orange lakes. The translucent amphibians emerged from cooling shelters once more. Walking plants unfolded glassy roots across warming desert ground. Oren children celebrated beneath skies their ancestors had maintained. Yet the journey toward the new galaxy would take generations. Celine knew she could never witness their eventual arrival. Ilian smiled, saying caretakers rarely saw completed journeys anyway. Their purpose was carrying possibilities beyond their own lifetimes. Before leaving, Celine visited the garden's oldest empty habitat. Nothing lived there except one enormous circle of soil. Ilian said this valley awaited a world not lost yet. Each caretaker generation preserved one space for future emergencies. Celine considered Earth, then quickly dismissed the thought quietly. Humanity still had time to protect its own biosphere. A refuge should never become permission for careless destruction. She uploaded restoration techniques instead of Earth's living samples. Ilian stored them beside records from thousands of cultures. Knowledge joined the garden without taking life away. The navigator sent Celine coordinates before she departed finally. They marked several ancient restoration sites across known galaxies. Some might contain species once preserved by this garden. Others could reveal caretakers who left long before Oren. Celine copied every coordinate into her exploration archive carefully. She also recorded one warning from the navigation organism. Several gardens like this had gone completely silent recently. No map explained why their signals disappeared together suddenly. The mystery weighted beyond her current mission and fuel. Still, Celine knew where curiosity would lead next. Her ship separated from the enormous open flower quietly. Behind her, petal sails shimmered against intergalactic blackness beautifully. Inside, thousands of ecosystems traveled toward another distant dawn. No empire owned them, and no collector displayed them. They survived because strangers chose responsibility across generations together. Celine turned toward the nearest silent garden coordinate next. Far ahead, two galaxies glowed like islands in darkness. Between them drifted more secrets than anyone could count. The last garden continued carrying life through emptiness patiently. And somewhere beyond, another green signal suddenly appeared. Kaya followed a distress beacon beyond mapped colonial space. Its rhythm matched no machine built by human hands. The signal came from a green world named Varelia. 3 bright rings circled its unusually quiet atmosphere. From orbit, forests shimmered like oceans of broken glass. Every canopy flashed at slightly different speeds below her. Some valleys aged while neighboring mountains remained strangely young. Kaya descended toward the strongest temporal disturbance near sunset. Her instruments began counting seconds in conflicting directions simultaneously. Then one enormous tree opened flowers made of clocks. Kaya landed beside roots wider than ancient city streets. Crystal leaves chimed softly whenever the evening wind shifted. Small 6-legged grazers moved between patches of frozen rain. One creature crossed a puddle and instantly became older. Another stepped backward, returning briefly to its younger form. Kaya realized local time flowed unevenly through the forest. Her scanner traced each distortion toward the crystal trees. Their roots carried pulses resembling synchronized biological heartbeats underground. Before she could sample one, silent figures appeared nearby. They watched Kaya carefully from behind transparent silver branches. The strangers called themselves Threeni through translated light patterns. Their pale violet skin carried thin golden temporal markings. They protected trees older than their recorded civilization itself. Each tree produced seeds containing several possible future states. Threeni farmers planted futures instead of ordinary seasonal crops. One seed showed drought while another promised gentle rainfall. Communities chose carefully, balancing survival against unknown consequences ahead. No future became certain until a seed actually opened. For thousands of years, the system kept Varelia stable. Recently, however, entire groves started aging within minutes. The Threeni led Kaya toward a valley turned white. Ancient trunks stood where young saplings grew yesterday morning. Animals nearby moved slowly beneath sudden layers of age. Yet flowers beside them remained trapped before blooming completely. At the valley center rested a shattered foreign probe. Its hull carried markings from an unknown vanished civilization. Inside, a spinning device leaked invisible temporal pressure outward. Kaya recognized technology designed to measure probability, not time. Something had changed its purpose after crashing on Varelia. Now it was forcing possible futures to happen together. Every nearby tree tried answering contradictory futures at once. Roots twisted while leaves jumped between seasons without warning. Threeni healers could stabilize individual trees only briefly. Kaya proposed disconnecting the probe from Varelia's root network. But the device had already fused beneath kilometers underground. Destroying it could release every stored future simultaneously worldwide. Instead, she searched the probe's surviving memory chambers carefully. Fragments showed scientists fleeing a collapsing blue star system. They built the device hoping to predict safe destinations. Their final experiment apparently opened too many outcomes together. Kaya discovered Varelia's rings generated rhythmic gravitational pulses naturally. Those pulses once kept every temporal tree synchronized perfectly. The crashed probe disrupted that rhythm beneath the valley. If the rings could overpower it, balance might return. Reaching the control roots required crossing the oldest forest. The Threeni warned that time behaved wildly inside there. Kaya entered with a guide named Sorrel beside her. Morning became midnight after only several careful footsteps forward. They passed insects suspended inside moments lasting entire centuries. Farther ahead, waterfalls climbed upward before falling normally again. Sorel suddenly aged decades while crossing a glowing route. Kaya pulled him backward, restoring most stolen years immediately. They marked dangerous zones using stones unaffected by time. Soon the forest began showing memories from Kaya's childhood. She saw earth rain falling between Virelia's crystal trunks. Sorel explained ancient trees sometimes reflected visitors' possible histories. Kaya ignored the visions and followed deeper gravitational pulses. At last, they reached the forest's central synchronization chamber. Thousands of roots surrounded a hollow sphere of amber light. The probe's black cables had pierced directly through it. Kaya connected her scanner while Sorel guarded unstable roots. The chamber showed ring pulses arriving slightly out of phase. One adjustment could synchronize every tree across the planet. However, someone needed to remain inside during the correction. Temporal pressure might erase that person's recent memories permanently. Sorel volunteered, but Kaya understood human equipment better there. She locked him outside and began aligning gravitational frequencies. Around her, possible versions of the chamber appeared everywhere. Some showed failure, others displayed forests turning instantly ancient. Kaya focused only on the rhythm beneath every illusion. Above Virelia, the three planetary rings brightened together suddenly. A gravitational wave swept across continents like silent thunder. Crystal forests answered with one enormous synchronized flash worldwide. The probe resisted, forcing competing futures through the chamber. Kaya redirected those possibilities upward into the planetary rings. For several seconds, the sky displayed thousands of Virelias. Then every false horizon collapsed into one stable world. The black cables released the glowing roots at last. Across the valley, white ancient trees regained natural colors. Animals trapped between ages returned to steady breathing patterns. Kaya woke outside the chamber beneath gentle golden rain. Sorel asked what she remembered from the final moments. She remembered Virelia, the mission, and almost everything else. But one small memory from Earth had completely vanished. Kaya could no longer remember her mother's singing voice. Sorel offered a future seed from the restored grove. Inside, Kaya heard several possible versions of that melody. She refused to choose any of them as truth. Some memories, she realized, should never be manufactured artificially. The Threenie silently planted the seed beside the chamber. Weeks later, temporal forests moved through seasons normally again. Threenie children returned to gathering safe, unopened future seed. Kaya studied the damaged probe without activating it again. Its records named 12 other worlds with similar technology. Several coordinates pointed beyond the edges of known space. One location transmitted a signal older than Virelia itself. The Threenie asked whether humanity would investigate those coordinates. Kaya answered that curiosity always carries responsibility with it. She copied the map, then sealed the probe underground. Virelia had taught her futures deserved patience, not control. Her ship rose slowly above the synchronized crystal forests. Below, three rings cast moving shadows across green continents. Sorel watched from a branch taller than mountains nearby. Kaya stored one empty seed inside a sealed case. It contained no future until someone eventually planted it. Perhaps Earth might someday need that kind of choice. For now, she set course toward the oldest coordinate. The stars ahead seemed unchanged, yet somehow less certain. Behind her, Virelia continued growing tomorrow from living branches. And Kaya wondered which future was already watching back. Nara first saw Cirrus shining like a cracked mirror. Its deserts reflected 3 suns across silver mineral plains. Weather satellites reported storms made from microscopic glass needles. Nothing organic should have survived those abrasive seasonal rains. Still, surface telescopes showed moving figures beneath crystal cliffs. Nara descended during the brief calm between 2 storms. Her boots touched sand that chimed beneath every step. Nearby columns reflected her image from impossible viewing angles. One reflection moved even after Nara stopped completely still. Then the mirror stepped out from the stone. The being resembled a person sculpted from liquid glass. Its face shifted whenever sunlight crossed the transparent surface. Colored flashes traveled beneath its skin like spoken sentences. Nara's translator converted reflections into a gentle artificial voice. The creature called its people Solari, children of light. They communicated by bouncing sunlight through their entire bodies. Every conversation traveled across kilometers of crystal landscape instantly. Their cities contained no wires, screens, or spoken language. Instead, sunlight carried memory through enormous mirrored canyon networks. But a darkness had entered their sky recently. A black comet had appeared beyond Cirrus's outer moon. Its dusty tail spread across the path of sunrise. Each passing day brought longer periods without direct light. Solari communication failed whenever shadows covered their crystal valleys. Families became isolated, despite standing only meters apart physically. Worse, their bodies required solar resonance for stable structure. Without it, transparent limbs slowly became cloudy and brittle. Nara watched one elder struggle to keep standing upright. The Solari asked whether her artificial lamps could help. Her equipment was far too weak for millions. Nara studied Cirrus's geology beneath the reflective desert crust. She discovered enormous magma rivers flowing under every continent. Their heat produced powerful infrared light inside volcanic caverns. Solari bodies could absorb those wavelengths, but never encountered them. Their culture had always depended entirely upon direct sunlight. Nara proposed bringing underground light toward the surface instead. The Solari feared volcanoes as places where reflections disappeared. No one had entered their deepest caverns for generations. Nara volunteered to explore one with a young guide. His name translated roughly as first morning after storm. They descended through tunnels lined with black volcanic glass. Without reflections, the guide seemed frightened and almost invisible. Nara used small lamps to create simple communication flashes. Slowly, he learned to answer using borrowed artificial light. The tunnel opened above a river of glowing orange magma. Thousands of mineral crystals hung from the ceiling overhead. Each crystal naturally focused heat into narrow, radiant beams. Nara realized the cavern was already a giant lamp. They only needed pathways carrying that energy upward safely. Then the ground shook as glass rain began outside. The storm hammered Cirrus with billions of transparent needles. Surface mirror towers cracked beneath repeated impacts everywhere outside. Darkness from the comet made repairs nearly impossible now. Nara and Morning raced deeper while tunnels trembled violently. They found ancient channels carved before Solari recorded history. The channels connected volcanic chambers to surface crystal forests. Someone had designed them to carry light long ago. Morning discovered symbols matching patterns within Solari bodies exactly. Their ancestors apparently lived underground before reaching the surface. Cirrus had survived darkness like this once already. Nara mapped the channels while Morning activated crystal junctions. Many were blocked by minerals accumulated across countless centuries. Solari teams entered caverns using portable reflected light chains. For the first time, their society moved beneath ground together. Workers cleared passages while magma illuminated their transparent bodies. Amber light replaced the blue-white sunlight they always knew. Unexpectedly, new colors appeared within their internal structures. Some Solari began communicating in patterns never seen before. Darkness had not weakened their language, it changed it. Nara realized adaptation had been waiting beneath their feet. The largest channel ended beneath the capital mirror basin. Opening it required breaking a sacred crystal foundation deliberately. Elders hesitated because that structure recorded their oldest histories. Morning proposed copying its reflections into neighboring canyon walls. Thousands of Solari formed a chain around the basin. Each body captured one fragment of the ancient visual record. Together, they moved history without preserving the original stone. Nara triggered controlled fractures along the crystal foundation carefully. The basin opened, releasing deep amber light upward suddenly. For the first time, Cyrus glowed from beneath. Volcanic light entered towers across the connected crystal network. Solari bodies brightened with warm colors across distant continents. Families separated by darkness could communicate once more again. Glass storms still fell, but repairs resumed immediately afterward. The black comet continued covering part of the suns. Yet Cirrus no longer depended on daylight alone now. Morning helped redesign cities using both solar and thermal light. New underground districts formed around safe volcanic chambers quickly. Children learned 2 languages of reflection instead of 1. The crisis had expanded their civilization rather than shrinking it. Nara studied the comet from a restored observatory tower. Its orbit showed no collision threat to Cyrus itself. Within several years, sunlight would fully return again naturally. The Solari could simply wait, but chose transformation instead. Morning invited Nara to witness the first Amber Festival. Millions gathered beneath towers glowing from underground magma rivers. Their mirrored bodies filled the night with moving color. No single sun controlled their voices anymore after this. Nara recorded this celebration without understanding every reflected phrase. Some meanings belonged only to people made from light. Before leaving, Nara received a shard from sacred glass. It reflected Cirrus even when pointed toward empty space. Morning explained the shard remembered every light touching it. Nara wondered whether memory could exist inside ordinary minerals. Her scanner found structures resembling complex photonic storage networks. She sealed the sample rather than cutting it apart. Some discoveries deserved observation before immediate scientific dissection began. The Solari watched her ship rise through clearing storms. Below, amber rivers shone beneath silver reflective deserts beautifully. Cyrus had learned to create dawn from underground. From orbit, the black comet crossed one distant sun. The planet dimmed, but its cities remained brightly visible. Nara transmitted her report toward nearby research stations carefully. She omitted coordinates to protect the Solari from exploitation. Instead, she described a civilization built entirely from reflection. Her final message contained one lesson from Cirrus itself. Light can disappear without ending what it once created. Sometimes darkness reveals another source waiting below us. Her ship turned toward a distant violet navigation beacon. Behind her, glass rain glittered through an artificial dawn. Aaron received a radio signal from inside a star. The red star was entering its final days. No known machine could survive such heat. Yet, the signal contained a route into the atmosphere. Pulses of light within the map formed an invitation. Aaron steered toward the rolling stellar surface. A dark corridor opened between plasma storms. The corridor moved as if actively guiding him. At its end stood a gate larger than planets. A civilization was living inside the star. The ship crossed the gate, and temperature dropped. An artificial shell surrounded the stellar core. A vast city covered the shell's inner surface. Towers hung inward toward the central sun. Rivers of plasma flowed between metallic bridges. Small vessels sailed upon the energy currents. Gravity pulled everything toward the outer shell. Aaron landed on a black crystal platform. The city trembled with every pulse of the star. Each pulse was slower than the last. Beings of light emerged from columns of plasma. Their bodies resembled flames held inside glass. They were the Helion, born from the star itself. The Helion changed color with emotion. A blue guide introduced herself as Solari. Solari touched his armor and shared a thermal map. The map showed the core collapsing unnaturally. A black cold zone spread through the energy layers. If it reached the core, the star would die. The Helion needed Aaron to investigate it physically. Solari led Aaron through forests of plasma. Energy trees grew directly from rivers of fire. Lightning birds nested along radiant branches. Dragon-like creatures swam through the convection layers. They consumed small storms before larger ones formed. Plasma jellyfish filtered impurities from energy rivers. Every species helped keep the star stable. The cold zone had darkened many forests. Lightning birds abandoned their nests in flocks. The ecosystem inside the star was collapsing. Aaron reached the circular control center. Thousands of Helions surrounded a model of the star. The model showed a black object below. It absorbed heat without releasing radiation. It appeared after a meteor storm. Some Helion wanted to abandon the star immediately. Others believed the star was a body-bound prison. Solari asked Aaron to identify the object. He agreed to descend into unexplored layers. The route opened only during the star's weakest cycle. Aaron boarded a mirrored stellar diving craft. Solari entered the system as a stream of light. The craft descended through colossal plasma waterfalls. Magnetic layers bent everything ahead of them. Fire shark creatures circled the vessel. Solari flashed colors that moved them aside. The radiant layers faded into cold gray. Plasma particles froze into floating crystals. Aaron's thermal systems nearly stopped working. Ahead appeared another abandoned city. The cold city was built from light-absorbing material. Statues depicted beings made of black crystal. A figure emerged from a silent tower. It introduced itself as the last Noxar. The Noxar had lived here before the Helion. Its species absorbed heat to prevent core explosions. The Helion had mistaken them for parasites. An ancient exile had destroyed most Noxar. Without them, the star accumulated unstable energy. The cold zone was the survivors' final warning. Noxar showed Aaron the core through a dark window. Inside was not a star simply dying. A smaller, bright core formed inside the old one. The star was preparing to birth another star. The process required Helion heat and Noxar cold. Without balance, both cores would explode. Aaron realized the city must detach from the shell. Helion had to accept help from exiles. Noxar agreed to return if history was told honestly. Aaron transmitted the complete memory to the central city. The truth sent waves of color through the Helion. Solari offered a public apology before the entire city. Ancient cooling chambers reopened after thousands of years. Noxar brought hidden crystal beings back into the city. The Helion provided heat for their dormant nurseries. The Noxar absorbed excess energy around the core. Both species activated the shell as a colossal vessel. The towers rotated away from the central star. Plasma bridges folded into protected chambers. The city prepared to leave its parent star. The newborn core began pushing the shell outward. Plasma storms struck the towers. Aaron calibrated thousands of magnetic engines. The Helion formed fire shields around the districts. The Noxar cooled structures near collapse. A massive shell segment became trapped in the atmosphere. Aaron piloted the diver, severing final energy locks. Solari held the chamber open with her plasma body. Noxar sent cold energy to keep her from dispersing. The final shell escaped the old star. Behind the city, the parent star contracted. A white flash crossed the entire system. Two smaller stars emerged from the radiance. One burned gold while the other shone cool blue. They orbited each other like twin hearts. The city settled between both energy sources. Plasma forests regrew beside the fire rivers. Crystal beings built homes beside the Helion. New life had emerged from restored balance. Aaron witnessed the rebirth of an entire star system. Solari gave Aaron a crystal holding fire and ice. The crystal carried the true history of both peoples. Aaron promised to share the story without alteration. Noxar opened a safe corridor beyond the system. Aaron's ship departed between the twin suns. From afar, the shell resembled an artificial planet. The original signal sounded again through his radio. This time it came from a distant blue star. Other cities might be living inside other stars. The universe may teem where we see only fire. Tomas arrived at Idon to investigate impossible moonquakes. The small moon orbited a quiet orange gas giant. Its surface cracked every 13 hours with perfect timing. Mining teams had abandoned the region after equipment disappeared underground. No tectonic model explained such regular global movement there. Tomas placed seismic sensors across a broad white plain. The first quake arrived exactly when his clocks predicted. Instead of shaking randomly, the ground expanded outward gently. Then every sensor recorded one enormous heartbeat below him. Idon was not behaving like a moon anymore. Tomas followed glowing fractures toward the nearest inhabited plateau. There he found stone towers built around widening cracks. Three-eyed residents watched the ground with fearful ritual silence. Their translators identified them as the ancient Rhine people. Rhine legends claimed Idon slept before their ancestors arrived. Every few thousand years, the sleeping one stirred below. Most scholars treated those stories as symbolic seasonal mythology. Now entire districts were rising several meters each week. Tomas requested access to their oldest geological archives immediately. The records revealed something nobody expected to find. Idon's interior lacked the dense core normal moons possessed. Instead, scans showed layered cavities arranged like biological chambers. Mineral veins resembled arteries running through the crust itself. Warm fluid circulated beneath regions considered geologically dead before. Tomas compared samples with known fossilized extraterrestrial shell structures. The match was disturbingly close across every measured feature. Idan was not a moon formed from planetary debris. It was an enormous egg covered by ancient stone. Something inside had finally started preparing to hatch. The Rhine city stood directly upon its living shell. Panic spread quickly through settlements along the expanding fractures. Some leaders demanded drilling inward to kill the creature. Others believed harming it would destroy Idan completely instead. Tomas argued they first needed to understand its development. He descended through an abandoned mining shaft with Rhine scientists. The tunnel walls gradually changed from rock into membrane. Their lamps revealed slow waves moving beneath translucent layers. Far below, a colossal shape shifted inside blue fluid. Its limbs folded around a body larger than continents. The unborn creature was already nearly moon-sized itself. Tomas recorded vibrations passing between embryo and outer shell. They were not random. Each sequence carried repeating patterns. A Rhine linguist noticed similarities to ancient ceremonial rhythms. Their oldest songs might have copied sounds from below. For generations, the species had unknowingly heard this heartbeat. Tomas converted the vibrations into low-frequency audio signals carefully. The embryo responded whenever certain patterns were played back. It was aware, though perhaps not fully conscious yet. Killing it now meant destroying an intelligent, developing life. But allowing hatching unchanged could kill the Rhine. The team searched deeper for any natural evacuation mechanism. Biological eggs often created protective membranes before opening completely. Idan possessed enormous shell plates separated by flexible seams. Several plates included cavities large enough for entire cities. Tomas theorized those sections might detach during natural hatching. Ancient Rhine structures already clustered strangely above those plates. Perhaps their ancestors understood more than surviving records suggested. The oldest capital stood exactly above the largest detachable section. Its foundations contained mechanisms made from shell-derived living material. Someone had prepared the Rhine for this moment long ago. Rhine engineers activated the forgotten mechanisms beneath their capital. Stone streets vibrated while buried organic supports slowly awakened. Similar systems existed beneath 6 other ancient settlement regions. Newer cities, however, had been built outside protected plates. Evacuating millions there would require immediate coordinated transport worldwide. Tomas mapped safe zones as fractures spread across continents. Rhine pilots moved families using gliders between rising plateaus. Every heartbeat below grew stronger than the previous one. The orange planet filled half the trembling night sky. Idan had only hours before its shell opened. A massive fracture split the equatorial mining region first. Blue light erupted upward through kilometers of broken stone. Tomas remained near the central plate with Rhine engineers. They needed to trigger detachment at exactly 1 heartbeat. Too early, and the plate could fall into space. Too late, an expanding shell might crush its settlements. Tomas synchronized seismic sensors into one planet-wide timing network. Rhine towers flashed signals across the entire moon surface. Cities prepared thrusters grown from dormant shell organs underneath. Then the final heartbeat arrived like planetary thunder. 7 protected plates detached from Idan's opening outer shell. Organic thrusters pushed them gently into neighboring stable orbits. Rhine cities suddenly became enormous living orbital islands together. Below, cracked moonstone peeled outward like white petals slowly. A vast blue creature emerged between drifting shell fragments. It resembled neither bird, whale, nor anything terrestrial. Transparent fins unfolded wider than several continental coastlines combined. Its eyes opened, reflecting the orange giant nearby silently. The newborn released one vibration heard across every Rhine city. Their oldest ceremonial song answered through orbiting towers immediately. The creature consumed remaining shell minerals after emerging fully. Its body brightened as stored nutrients entered glowing tissues. Rather than flying away, it circled the orange planet. Rhine astronomers realized Eidon belonged to a migrating species. Ancient eggs probably traveled between gas giants for millennia. Their shells became temporary worlds during incredibly long incubation. Life like the Rhine might evolve upon many such eggs. Thomas wondered how many moons were actually sleeping creatures. Suddenly, familiar planetary systems seemed far more biologically uncertain. The newborn stayed close to its orbiting city plates. Wren engineers adapted detached plates into permanent orbital habitats. Living thrusters provided power from the newborn's magnetic field. The creature responded warmly to ceremonial vibration broadcasts daily. Perhaps it recognized the Rhine as shell companions already. Thomas helped establish rules protecting both species equally now. No mining would ever penetrate living shell layers again. In exchange, Rhine scientists studied discarded stone fragments safely. They discovered microscopic eggs embedded inside several mineral veins. The newborn might someday carry another generation between stars. Eidon's story was only one stage of migration. Thomas prepared his ship beside the oldest orbital city. Rhine children watched their former moon swimming through space. Nobody called it Eidon anymore after the hatching event. Its new name meant First Sky Mother in Rhine. Thomas stored seismic recordings beside his navigation star charts. One rhythm matched signals reported from distant unexplored moons. He plotted those locations and counted 17 possible matches. His next survey mission suddenly carried very different meaning. Behind him, the newborn opened transparent fins towards starlight. Some moons, Thomas learned, are only waiting to wake.
Elias found a moon casting shadows without any light. Its darkness moved against the direction of its star. Telescopes recorded human-like shapes inside the black regions. No one could explain why those shapes looked upward. Umbra reflected no light, which gave it its name. Elias was sent to trace the silhouette's source. As his ship approached, every shadow stopped at once. One enormous shadow turned toward his cockpit. It raised an arm as if greeting a visitor. Umbra seemed to have waited for humanity. Elias landed along the border between light and darkness. One side was a white desert beneath harsh starlight. The other was a black plain without visible depth. Elias's shadow stretched forward despite the light behind him. It moved half a beat behind his body. When Elias stopped, the shadow kept walking. It turned and signaled for him to follow. His instruments detected a temperature within the shadow. Darkness here was not an absence of light. It was a form of life. The shadow led Elias into a forest of pillars. Each pillar held darkness of a different shape. A bird-like shadow flew between the cliffs. A four-legged shadow drank light from the ground. The creatures possessed no clear physical bodies. They survived by absorbing trapped photons. When full, they released thin blue outlines. Elias reached toward a small, trembling creature. The shadow wrapped his glove without feeling cold. It showed him a vision of a stolen son. Deep inside grew trees that stored daylight. Their leaves were black mirrors thin as paper. At night, their roots released light underground. Shadow creatures gathered around the glowing roots. They did not fear light, but depended upon it. Black worms coiled around trunks to preserve warmth. Flowers opened only inside complete darkness. Their pollen floated as tiny particles of light. Umbra sustained life through exchange between light and shadow, but that exchange was breaking down. Human-like silhouettes appeared and surrounded Elias. They rose from the ground like physical bodies. Purple outlines revealed faces without eyes. They called themselves the Vesper. The Vesper recorded memory by shaping shadows. Each carried shadows from many ancestral generations. Elias saw their history moving across the cliffs. A city once shone beneath a smaller sun. Then that sun vanished from the city's center. Without it, the shadow species were slowly dissolving. The Vesper guided Elias to a city below. Its towers appeared only when viewed indirectly. Bridges were woven from overlapping bands of shadow. Spheres of light floated above dark plazas. Each sphere nourished thousands of residents. The central sphere vanished 3 cycles earlier. Ancient cameras showed a luminous creature taking it. The creature escaped toward the white desert. The Vesper could not survive long in intense light. Only Elias could pursue the thief. Elias crossed the bright side on a magnetic sled. The ground reflected starlight like thousands of mirrors. Crystal animals chased the sled's moving shadow. They had transparent bodies and luminous bones. Mirror-faced birds covered the sky. Reflections overwhelmed his navigation system. Elias used his own shadow as a compass. The shadow pointed toward an enormous impact crater. Golden sunlight rose from the crater's depths. The thief waited directly below. Inside the crater, Elias met a creature of light. It resembled a child with long, radiant wings. The creature held the sun sphere against its chest. It did not attack, but guarded a nest. Inside were dozens of fading light creatures. The sphere had saved them from the bright side. Elias understood this was not theft driven by greed. Both ecosystems needed the same source of energy. Returning it would save Vesper but doom the young. He needed a way to divide the light. Elias discovered the sphere was a living prism. It could create more light when given enough shadow. He summoned the Vesper to the twilight border. The light beings brought their young there too. Elias placed the sphere between both realms. The Vesper poured ancestral shadows into the prism. The light creatures offered their remaining energy. The sphere divided into 2 smaller suns. One returned home, while one stayed near the nest. For once, both species saw each other clearly. Dividing the prism made the entire moon tremble. A vast dark fissure opened along the twilight line. Living shadows poured into it like a river. Light was pulled from both newborn suns. Elias realized Umbra was an ancient balancing machine. The prism had once stabilized the moon's gravitational core. To save Umbra, they had to reconnect both suns. The Vesper formed a shadow bridge across the fissure. The light beings became a radiant cable overhead. Elias stood between them and synchronized both energies. The twin suns pulsed in perfect rhythm. The shadow bridge became a ring around the moon. The fissure closed as light and shadow merged. Mirror forests regrew from the ground. Shadow creatures regained their luminous outlines. The young lights flew from their nest at last. The Vespa opened their city to the bright side. Both species began trading light and memory. Elias saw his own shadow standing beside him. It bowed before returning beneath his feet. Elias left Umbra as both small suns rose. A new ring of shadow glowed around the moon. Telescopes finally revealed the Vespa city, but Elias kept its exact coordinates secret. He sent home one sample of light and shadow. Inside the laboratory, the sample formed a small hand. It drew a circle of shadow across the table. The circle matched Umbra's new ring. Then another shadow appeared behind Elias. Perhaps part of Umbra had followed him home. Mara received a melody from an uncharted ocean. The signal repeated whenever she remembered Earth. Its source waited on the ocean world Thalassa 9. No satellite had ever found land there. The planet glowed like one enormous watching eye. Mara changed course and entered the forbidden sector. Her computer warned that the water was transmitting patterns. The patterns resembled the rhythms of a living brain. A world without continents appeared to be thinking, and it was calling Mara by name. Her ship pierced clouds the color of pearl. Below stretched an endless violet-blue ocean. Enormous rings of light moved across the surface. Each ring pulsed with the mysterious signal. Mara landed upon a floating reef. The reef shifted itself to support her ship. Coral branches opened like patient fingers. The air was breathable, but filled with glowing spores. The spores spiraled around her helmet. They seemed to be testing her memories. The first creature appeared beneath the transparent water. It carried 8 thin fins and a glass-like body. Inside it moved a school of living lights. The creature changed color when Mara raised her hand. A larger school surfaced and formed symbols. The symbols recreated scenes from Mara's childhood. No machine had ever recorded those memories. The ocean had read them from her mind. The glass creatures were cells within something larger. The entire sea might be one living being. Mara descended inside a transparent exploration pod. Sunlight vanished after only a few hundred meters. In its place, millions of luminous species awakened. Ribbon-shaped fish wrapped themselves around the currents. Giant sea trees opened flowers as she passed. Bell-shaped creatures released a deep harmonic sound. The sound made her pod vibrate like an instrument. Mara realized music was the ocean's language. Each species carried a different part of the symphony. But one essential note was slowly disappearing. The current guided Mara toward underwater domes. A living city rested among blue coral forests. Its buildings expanded with the rhythm of the sea. Tall, slender residents emerged through liquid doorways. They were Nymari, silver-skinned beings with glowing gills. The Nymari greeted Mara with a gentle chord. Her translator produced images instead of words. Mara saw the ocean preserving their history. Each memory was stored inside a luminous creature. But the memory keepers were beginning to die. The Nymari led Mara to the memory current. Its water moved against every surrounding current. Touching it revealed ages long gone. Mara witnessed the planet when its ocean was young. She saw the Nymari evolve from tiny swimmers. She also saw a black object fall from space. It had rested in the deepest trench for millennia. Since then, memories had vanished piece by piece. Mara realized the object was feeding on neural energy. If it awakened, the ocean would forget itself. The Nimari chose a living diver, not a machine. The giant ray opened a chamber along its back. Mara and 3 Nimari entered its body. It descended where pressure could crush metal. Biological membranes absorbed the pressure around them. Outside, kilometer-long light worms drifted past. A circular-mouthed creature emerged from darkness. A Nimari chord calmed it and sent it away. Mara understood that music maintained peace below. Deeper down, the signal became more twisted and broken. They reached an abyss that reflected no light. A black sphere with thin spines floated there. Its spines pierced the currents like roots. Every pulse erased thousands of memories. The sphere opened a bright slit and watched Mara. It recreated the voice of her lost mother. For a moment, Mara believed her mother was calling. A powerful Nimari chord broke the illusion. The creature fed not on flesh, but cherished memory. To win, the whole ocean had to remember. Mara sent a signal to every Nimari city. Millions of residents began singing one shared melody. Sea creatures carried the melody across the planet. Coral reefs lit up like neural pathways. The memory current expanded through every sea. The black sphere released millions of illusions. Mara focused on one true memory of her mother. She shared that memory with the entire ocean. The honest emotion shattered the false visions. The sphere began losing control. A colossal leviathan awakened beneath the trench. Its body carried symbols from the planet's history. It was Thalassa's oldest keeper of memory. The leviathan wrapped long fins around the sphere. Mara broadcast the final melody from her pod. Every creature on the planet answered together. Memory light flooded into the black spines. The sphere collapsed into a silent seed. The leviathan swallowed the seed and sealed it away. The ocean's symphony became whole again. The memory keepers began glowing again. Lost memories returned to the Nimari. Children saw their ancestors for the first time. Living cities blossomed across the seafloor. The Nimari gave Mara a drop of starlit water. Within it rested the memory of an entire world. Mara promised never to weaponize the gift. The ocean answered with a gentle melody. For once, the signal stopped calling her name. It called the name of Earth. Mara left the reef as 2 moons rose. Glass creatures lifted from the water to farewell her. The Leviathan appeared beneath the clouds like living land. Her ship carried the memory drop into orbit. Mara transmitted part of the melody toward Earth. Telescopes at home received the signal. Yet the water drop began forming rings of light. Within them appeared images of many other oceans. Thalassa was not the only world that remembered. The universe might be preserving every story ever lived. Sora heard a song traveling through empty space. It came from neither radio nor any known ship. The signal carried the heartbeat of something enormous. Sora followed it beyond the shipping lanes. Long silhouettes appeared among the stars. They swam through space like whales through ocean. Each creature was longer than a human city. Glowing forests grew across their backs. One young whale had fallen behind the herd. The distress song came from the calf. Sora brought her ship beside the exhausted calf. Its skin carried tiny biological mountain ranges. The trees along its back were losing light. A wide fracture crossed the central forest. Blue energy particles leaked from the wound. Sora landed on a meadow across its back. Low gravity made the grass ripple like water. Tiny animals approached to inspect her ship. An entire ecosystem depended upon the whale's body. If the calf died, the forest would vanish too. Sora entered the forest beneath an open starfield. Leaves absorbed light from distant suns. Roots reached into the whale's energy channels. 6-winged birds flew through transparent branches. Small deer carried antlers shaped like nebulae. Insects gathered stardust from the bark. Each species supported one function of the whale. The forest was a vast symbiotic organ. Darkened trees near the fracture were dying quickly. Something had severed the energy flow. Sora met forest keepers no taller than her hand. They had 4 wings and glowing green skin. The Silphari had lived on star whales for generations. They communicated through tiny bells along their wings. The Silphari called the calf Luma. Luma was injured while crossing a dark dust cloud. The herd had to continue its century-long migration. Stopping would make them miss the light gate. The gate opened only once every 100 years. Luma had only hours to catch the herd. The Silphari guided Sora beneath the whale's skin. Glowing tunnels contracted like blood vessels. Energy particles drifted like schools of tiny fish. Several tunnels were covered in black webbing. Hexagonal eggs rested inside the web. Scans identified them as extragalactic organisms. The parasites drained energy to build their nest. They had spread close to Luma's heart. Destroying the nest too quickly could shock the whale. Sora needed to lure them outside. Sora learned the parasites were attracted to stardust. Forest insects had stored stardust for years. The Silphari gathered the dust into large sails. Sora attached the sails behind her ship. She flew beside the wound, making a bright trail. The parasites crawled out from the energy channels. They had black bodies with hundreds of thin legs. The swarm rushed after the stardust behind her ship. Sora led them beyond Luma's atmosphere. But the queen remained buried inside. The queen tightened around the heart like metal. Every beat of Luma's heart grew weaker. Sora entered the heart chamber in an energy suit. The Silphari projected light through healing crystals. The queen opened wings like a black flower. It released pulses that scrambled Sora's memory. She forgot the route and why she was there. Luma's song echoed through the chamber walls. The melody helped Sora remember her purpose. She synchronized her transmitter with the whale's heartbeat. The new pulse forced the queen to let go. The Silphari pulled it away with luminous cords. Sora opened an exit toward space. The queen was pulled outside with the black webbing. The swarm immediately gathered around its queen. Instead of destroying them, Sorcerer released an energy cocoon. The cocoon held enough stardust to draw them away. The swarm returned to the distant dark cloud. Energy began flowing through Luma again. But the herd was already nearing the gate. Sora used her ship to help Luma accelerate. The Silphari opened every light sail across the forest. Trees bent backward like the wings of a ship. Luma began swimming faster through the stars. Adult leviathans returned and broadcast guiding songs. Space ahead opened into a vast ring of light. The gate began closing before Luma arrived. Sora pushed her engines beyond safe limits. Luma matched its song with the entire herd. Both crossed the gate in the final moment. Beyond the gate lay a space filled with seeds. Millions of luminous seeds drifted around the herd. The adult whales opened the forests along their backs. The trees launched seeds toward young planets. Luma released its first seeds as well. One seed landed upon a barren nearby moon. It became a small tree within seconds. Sora understood the whales were planting life across space. Every migration created new ecosystems. Luma had arrived in time to continue the cycle. The Sylphari celebrated within the restored forest. Nebula-antlered deer ran across the meadow. 6 winged birds carried ribbons of light overhead. Luma sang more powerfully than before. The herd answered with a colossal harmony. Sora recorded it, but her device held too little. Part of the song became images inside her mind. She saw planets the whales had seeded before. One of them was ancient Earth. Life at home might have begun with this migration. Sora departed as the herd continued onward. The Sylphari gave her a star-shaped seed. It would grow only on a lifeless world. Sora sealed it inside a protected chamber. From afar, the whales resembled a moving constellation. Luma's song still echoed through her ship. Her computer detected another distant distress call. It came from a completely barren planet. The seed inside her chamber began to glow. The next planting might belong to Sora herself.
Jalen came to Orison expecting only empty ring ice. Instead, his radar found something breathing beneath frozen debris. The object stretched farther than several human cities combined. Yet no engine heat appeared anywhere along its surface. Thousands of ring fragments moved around it like scales. Jalen followed a narrow gap through the rotating ice. His ship reached a surface covered in living armor. Then enormous pores opened, pulling nearby dust gently inward. A docking cavity unfolded before his cockpit without warning. Someone inside the rings clearly wanted him aboard. The passage closed behind Jalen with a muscular shudder. Warm blue light flowed through translucent walls around him. No cables, doors, or metal supports appeared anywhere. The entire structure behaved more like a living organism. Small creatures watched him from openings between pulsing membranes. They had blue-gray skin and enormous reflective black eyes. One approached wearing copper armor grown directly from bone. Its translator identified the species as the Cathari people. Their leader introduced herself with a gesture meaning keeper. Then she showed Jalen why their ark was dying. The vessel carried ecosystems rescued from vanished planetary worlds. One chamber held red forest beneath artificial twin suns. Another contained floating reefs swimming through warm methane clouds. Tiny winged grazers nested inside gardens without any soil. Each habitat preserved species whose homeworld no longer existed. The Cathari had guarded them across 20,000 years. Their ark traveled slowly between stars using gravitational tides. Orison's rings provided shelter during a long migration stop. But the shelter had recently become a deadly trap. A collision cascade was spreading through the outer rings. Broken moon fragments were multiplying after every violent impact. Within days, debris would strike the living ark repeatedly. The ark could survive several hits, but not thousands. Its navigation organs had also entered a mysterious dormant state. Keeper believed something outside was suppressing their natural instincts. Jalen offered to inspect the surrounding ring environment first. He launched a small survey craft through the breathing dock. Around him, ice fragments spun faster than orbital models predicted. Their motion formed spirals centered on one shepherd moon. That moon should have stabilized the rings, not disturbed them. Jalen approached the moon and discovered glowing surface fractures. Each crack released clouds of microscopic silver organisms upward. The creatures attached themselves to passing ice and multiplied. Their colonies changed each fragment's electrical charge dramatically. Charged debris then attracted more debris, creating larger collisions. The organisms were not attacking anything intentionally at all. They were simply reproducing after centuries of frozen dormancy. Recent sunlight had warmed their buried eggs unexpectedly again. Jalen realized destroying them would erase another rare species. Saving the Ark required moving it without killing them. Keeper revealed the vessel once followed living magnetic pathways. Special sensory tendrils read planetary fields like migrating birds. Those tendrils had been sealed during the ring stopover. Opening them amid debris seemed impossibly dangerous to Kethari. Jalen suggested using shepherd moons as temporary directional anchors. Their combined gravity could create one brief protected corridor. The Ark would need to awaken and move immediately. Keeper gathered navigators inside a chamber resembling a heart. Jalen connected human orbital software to their biological senses. For the first time, machine maps met living instinct. The first shepherd moon shifted exactly as predictions required. A narrow lane opened through billions of spinning fragments. Keeper awakened the Ark's vast magnetic tendrils one by one. They unfolded beneath the rings like luminous ocean kelp. Silver organisms swarmed nearby but ignored the living tissue. The Ark began moving with almost imperceptible muscular waves. Jalen guided it between debris clusters wider than continents. Inside, preserved forest bent under unfamiliar artificial gravity changes. Kethari workers protected fragile habitats through every slow turn. Then the second shepherd moon drifted ahead of schedule. Their safe corridor narrowed faster than Jalen could calculate. One massive ice mountain rotated directly toward the Ark. Destroying it would scatter millions of dangerous, smaller fragments. Jalen instead targeted its electrical charge with controlled pulses. The silver colonies responded, crawling toward the stronger field. Their movement slowly altered the mountain's surrounding plasma sheath. That tiny electrical change shifted its orbit just enough. The ice mountain passed beside the Ark without touching. Keeper understood the organisms could become partners, not obstacles. Jalen began guiding their colonies along selected ring fragments. Millions of silver organisms spread across carefully chosen debris. Together, their electrical fields reshaped the corridor's outer edges. The ring itself began behaving like a moving shield. Ark and organisms traveled through Orison's ring side by side. Kethari navigators sang vibrations through the living navigation chamber. Jalen's software converted those songs into precise orbital corrections. Ahead, open space finally appeared beyond the dense rings. The Ark accelerated gently, stretching its luminous tendrils outward. Behind them, collision patterns gradually weakened around the moon. The silver species had found a new stable migration route. Outside Orison, the Ark opened several enormous biological sails. Starlight filled membranes wider than whole terrestrial mountain ranges. Jalen watched preserved creatures gather beneath transparent habitat domes. Keeper invited him to visit their oldest protected ecosystem. Inside waited trees surrounding a dry circular stone basin. The basin once held water from the Kethari homeworld. Nothing living from that planet survived except themselves now. Their mission was never merely collecting interesting alien species. They were remembering worlds the universe had already lost. Jalen finally understood why every habitat mattered equally. Keeper offered Jalen a seed from the red forest. He declined, fearing Earth's environment might not accept it. Instead, he gave her a complete human biodiversity archive. Ketheri translators stored Earth's species as patterns of light. Keeper promised preservation without removing anything from Earth itself. Jalen repaired the Ark's human interface before departing quietly. Its living tissue grew around his temporary metal connectors. Soon, no visible trace of human technology remained there. Only stored maps remembered he had ever visited them. The Ark turned toward darkness between neighboring star systems. Jalen returned to his ship as Orison shrank behind. His radar now recognized the Ark's heartbeat among stars. Keeper transmitted one final route across his navigation display. It marked other arcs scattered through distant galactic regions. Some signals had gone silent centuries before this meeting. Others still moved, carrying unknown worlds inside living hulls. Jalen set course toward the nearest unanswered heartbeat next. The rings behind him glittered peacefully around their giant planet. Somewhere ahead, another forgotten ecosystem might still need rescue. And space suddenly felt less empty than a library.
Nia discovered a planet broadcasting images of Earth. The images appeared before events happened at home. A rainy city appeared exactly 3 days early. A forest fire appeared before the lightning strike. The distant world seemed to dream our future. Nia named it Somnia and requested an expedition. As she approached, her childhood filled every screen. No one but Nia knew those memories. A voice emerged from the ship itself. It asked why humans had stopped listening to dreams. Nia landed upon plains resembling her childhood home. Yet 3 pale blue moons filled the sky. Familiar houses stood among luminous trees. Windows opened into rooms that had never existed. Faceless figures moved through the streets. When Nia approached, they became butterflies. Each butterfly carried a fragment of human memory. Her neural scanner detected billions of overlapping signals. Somnia was not copying Earth through machines. It was recreating what humanity dreamed. Nia entered a forest that changed with thought. Remembering winter turned the leaves into snow. Thinking of the sea made roots become waves. Small creatures emerged from passing thoughts. A fox with a cloud tail followed her. Flying fish swam through the spaces between trees. Birds carried wings made from turning pages. Every creature blended memories from many humans. Somnia turned collective imagination into an ecosystem, but newer creations were becoming distorted. A black storm appeared above the horizon. Fearful faces moved within the clouds. Lightning formed images of war and collapsing cities. Nia realized the storm was made from nightmares. It grew from fears spreading across Earth's networks. Forest creatures fled from the approaching darkness. Memory houses dissolved into sand. The cloud fox led Nia toward a mirror gate. Beyond it waited Somnia's true city. A hidden people were trying to stabilize the dream. Somnia's people had glass bodies filled with starlight. They called themselves the Oniri. Each Oniri tended dreams from different worlds. Their city was built from constantly changing bridges. Towers changed shape with collective emotion. A guide named Ilian greeted Nia through memory. He showed Somnia linked many sleeping worlds. Earth had joined the network under a century ago. Artificial signals had strengthened the connection too quickly. Human nightmares were overwhelming the other worlds. Ilian brought Nia to the Dream Lake. Its surface reflected sleepers across thousands of planets. One alien dreamed of violet oceans. A machine species dreamed of flowers growing through metal. A child on Earth dreamed of flying among stars. The dreams met and formed new living creatures. Nia saw the black storm spreading across the lake. If covered, every connection would become a nightmare. The Oniri could not alter dreams belonging to others. Only a human could enter the human storm. Nia activated her neural band and entered the lake. The water became a sky filled with doors. Each door led to one human fear. She crossed a city where nobody had a face. She saw oceans rising over entire continents. She entered a room where every clock ran backward. Shadows whispered that the future was already gone. Nia realized the storm fed on shared helplessness. To weaken it, she needed a different shared dream. But she could not dream for all humanity alone. Nia found the source of Earth's first connection. It was an old radio tower in a desert. Its signal once carried a hopeful song into space. Somnia heard the song and opened the link. Over time, noise buried the hopeful transmission. Nia recovered the melody from the planet's memory. She broadcast the song through every dream door. Some shadows stopped and listened. Doors began opening toward kinder memories. The storm weakened but did not disappear. Ilian linked the Oniri to Nia's melody. Each sent a dream from the world they tended. Violet oceans appeared inside the storm. Metal flowers blossomed across black clouds. Flying creatures carried children through the sky. Nia added a dream of worlds working together. The images joined into one enormous vision. The storm became rain of light, not ruin. Each drop carried a fear that had been understood. The dream lake became clear again. Distorted forest creatures regained their forms. The cloud fox transformed into a winged animal. Memory houses rose again from the ground. The Oniri city stabilized among shifting bridges. Ilian showed Nia new dreams arriving from Earth. Many people dreamed of skies filled with living worlds. One child dreamed of Nia beneath 3 moons. The dream appeared before Nia returned home. Somnia not only received dreams but returned them. Some human ideas might have begun here. The Oniri gave Nia a teardrop-shaped crystal. The crystal held a doorway to the dream lake. Nia could open it when humanity needed hope. She promised never to use it to control minds. Ilian warned that every dream required freedom. Nia returned to her ship beneath luminous rain. Dream creatures circled the ship in farewell. Somnia reshaped its landscape into a blue earth. Then the image faded and the planet returned. Nia departed feeling as though she had just awakened. On the trip home, Nia finally slept again. She dreamed of a city she had never seen. The city stood beneath 7 suns. An unknown being waited beside a gate. It held a crystal matching the Oniri gift. The being said its world was also having nightmares. Nia awoke as the crystal glowed in her hand. Her computer received coordinates for the 7 sun system. The dream had become a new distress call. And Somnia had chosen Nia as its listener.